So very good morning to all the students. Now today we are going to see the brainstorming question and answers of standard 12th section 1 1.3, the chapter The Cop and the Anthem by O. Henry. So let us begin with the brainstorming question and answers. In the earlier parts we have discussed a lot of things, such as we have seen the line to line explanation of entire chapter in two parts. Then we had seen the summary of the chapter. Now we shall be discussing the brainstorming question and answers. So the A1 activity is discuss with your partner and find out the different ways in which Sophie tried to get arrested. The first one is given. So in the story we had seen that how Sophie tried to get himself arrested to protect himself from the cold winters which were arriving, and he didn't have any shelter to save himself, so he wanted to get arrested in a number of ways, but we shall be discussing only a few. Like the first one, where he tried to enter a luxurious cafe, he gets eyed and kicked out. Then he tried to break or dash a stone through the glass of the window of a hotel, of a shop, where unfortunately also he didn't get arrested. Then he purposely didn't pay a bill in the hotel. He wanted to them to call the police and get arrested. Fails again. Then he tried to steal the umbrella of a stranger and asked him to call the police. He fails again. Then he acts as if he's drunken and he falls on people or on the police. Then again he's not get arrested. And finally he gets arrested by doing nothing. So let us see the next one. Describe the atmosphere when Sophie reached near this church. So here we have to describe the atmosphere, the setting, how it was. So a soft light glowed through the violet stained window. So when Sophie entered that particular place, he saw that a very soft light, a very dim light, was glowing through the violet stained window, is the color. A quiet corner with an old church, then the moon was above, full and radiant, creating brightness, and then sparrows twittered, sleeping in the eaves in the country churchyard. So there was a lot of things going on while he entered that particular place where the church was there. So let us see the next one. So in this particular activity, A2, first one, read the story and match the incidents given in column A with column B with the consequences. So here in column A are given the incidents and column B are the consequences, means what's happened after that. We have to match them. So let us begin with the first one. Sophie tried to enter a cafe. When Sophie tried to enter a cafe, what did happen? When Sophie tried to enter the cafe, what happened? Sophie tried to enter a cafe and a strong and ready hands of the head waiter turned him down. Means he was caught by the waiter. Then Sophie broke a glass of the window. Then what happened? Sophie tried to break the window. Then the cop ran after another man. We know that when Sophie broke the glass, a number of people came there, and the whole incident that I am the person who broke the window, and the cop didn't believe in him, and he thought that somebody else was doing that. So he started running after some other man. Two waiters pitched Sophie on the careless payment. I mean, this is the incident where Sophie didn't, avoid paying the bill, and he gets thrown out of the window. So Sophie, he stood up slowly, beating the dust from his clothes. Means he's thrown out and he's beaten up and he's standing up. Next is Sophie heard the anthem being played in the church. What happens? When this happens, suddenly Sophie remembers all his good old young days, youth days, where he is surrounded by all the people around him, and now he doesn't have any people around him. And suddenly a wonderful change came in his heart. He decides that tomorrow I'm going to find a job and I'm going to be a nice person. Then what happens? Cop arrests Sophie for hanging around. What happens? The dream of turning around in life was shattered. The moment Sophie decides that I will be a nice person, the cop arrests him and he's sentenced for 3 months on the Long Island. So this is the answers to this particular activity. Let us see the next one. So this activity give reasons and complete the following. Like A, Sophie had confidence in himself because. So we have to complete the sentence. He considered as an honorable due to his appearance. The waiters would not doubt him. Sophie had prepared himself well, but unfortunately because of the appearance, the waiters would not be able to know him, but unfortunately he gets caught. The next, the head waiter of the luxurious cafe did not allow Sophie to enter because why did he do so? Because Sophie looked as a dishonored person. The waiter saw him in the tattered trousers and decadent shoes. What is this? Sophie was well dressed only till the waistline, but below the waistline he was looking like a dishonored person, a person who could not afford good trousers and good shoes, because his trousers were tattered. Tattered means they were torn off, and shoes were also not in good condition. Next, the cop did not arrest Sophie for breaking the glass window because the cop thought that he, the man who smashes the window, doesn't remain on the same place waiting for a cop. He runs away from the cop. So for the cop, the person who actually breaks the windows, they do not. The people or the robbers who are tend to break windows of other people's homes or what is it, shops, they do not wait at the same place waiting for the cops. So that's why. So the cops felt that Sophie was just joking and fooling around, so they didn't arrest him. Next, the cop did not arrest Sophie for shouting and dancing because he considered Sophie as the young man coming from a party at Hartford College. The cop had already got the instruction to neglect this young man. So the next question in the activity is pick out the lines from the text which show that. So the first is given, Sophie wants to enter the cafe for two reasons. The first reason is the cafe catered to large appetites with modest purses. That means people could afford it. Second, now get busy and call a cop, said Sophie, and don't keep a gentleman waiting. Sophie wanted to enter the jail. So here for two reasons. First, he wanted to eat tummy full, or he had a little money, so he wanted to just eat something, and second, he wanted to get arrested. Sophie was afraid that he won't be able to enter the prison. The sentence from the text from the book is, Sophie was seized with a sudden fear that some dreadful enchantment had rendered him immune to arrest. Sophie was not caught by the cop for throwing stones at the glass. The policeman refused to accept Sophie even as a clue. So the next one, Sophie actually did not want the umbrella. He hurled the umbrella angrily into an excavation. So the last one is listening to the anthem. Sophie remembered his good old days, and the anthem that the organist played cemented Sophie to the iron fence, for he had known it well in the days when his life contained such things as mothers and roses, and ambitions and friends, and immaculate thoughts and colors. So this is the answer to this particular question. Let us see the next one. So the next one here is, Sophie's earlier life was much different from his present life. Complete the table to show his contrast. One is done for you. So we have to show that his earlier life was, how was his earlier life, and his present life is how. So his earlier life was contained friends and roses, love of family, he had ambitions and his dreams, and in his present life he has unworthy desires, lost hope, and immoral values. So let us see the next one. So the next one, after listening to the sweet and solemn organ notes, Sophie decides to. So after listening to the anthem of the church, Sophie decides something. So it was A, he would resurrect his old eager ambitions and pursue them without faltering. Second, he would be somebody in the world. And third one, he was going to find work tomorrow morning and he was going to earn money. So activity question which was missed was the fourth one. This is the A2 fourth one. He would make a man of himself again. The word man in the sentence means that Sophie was going to earn money, he was going to work hard and live a clean and decent life hereafter. So this is the meaning of this particular sentence here. So the next activity is A3. Here the first one is, O. Henry has used different words to indicate a prison where Sophie wants to reach. So make a list of those words. So here the words are Winter Island, Coveted Island, Limbo, just an island, or the fifth, unattainable Arcadia. So the next activity here is the find out the words used for the degraded state of Sophie. So understanding the state of Sophie. So the words are unworthy desires, the pit into where he had tumbled, dead hopes, base motives that make his existence. So next is the third one, the specific meaning of word anthem in the content of the stories. What is the meaning of the word anthem here? It is a religious song or a prayer played in a church for special celebrations. So this is your answer to the question, and here we end the brainstorming question and answers for textual content. Now let us see the brainstorming questions for grammar or grammatical question and answers. So let us now see the grammar section, which is in the similar manner. A4 activities: convert the following sentences into negative without changing their meanings. So in this particular activity, as you know, you have to change the sentence from affirmative into negative or from negative into affirmative, but you don't have to change the meaning. So the first is given: the policeman refused to accept Sophie even as a clue. So the answer to this is: the policeman didn't accept Sophie even as a clue. So here you saw that we didn't change the meaning, but we just made the sentence negative. So to accept, we didn't to do what is it? We wrote the negative of the sentences didn't accept. So Sophie drifted along twice unsuccessful. So the answer to this is Sophie drafted along twice but didn't succeed. The C1, Sophie stopped his unveiling racket. Answer: Sophie didn't carry on his unveiling racket. The next one, the island seemed very far away. The island didn't seem close by, means nearby. The island seemed an unattainable Arcadia. The island didn't seem attainable Arcadia. So the next one to this is, so the next activity is to convert the following sentences into affirmative without changing their meaning. So now we have to make the sentences into affirmative without changing their meanings. So A1 is: men who smash windows do not remain to chat with the police. So answer to this is: men who smash windows avoid to chat with the police. So here we did that we removed this do not from the sentence and made it a affirmative sentence. So while making a negative sentence, we usually add do not or not like words in there, but while making affirmative, we remove this words which are negative words and make it into a positive sentence. So here we see the next one, the B1, why don't you call a cop? So the answer to this is: why don't you hesitate? That is, you are avoiding to call a cop. So on the opposite side of the street was a restaurant of no great pretensions. So the answer to this is: on the opposite side of the street was a restaurant without any great pretensions. So next is noisy but no harm, noisy but harmless. So here they seem to regard him as a king who could do no wrong. So the answer to this is: they seem to regard him as a king who was unable to do wrong. So here we end this particular chapter. Here also we end the particular brainstorming, both textual and grammatical, in the same part. So let's meet in the next part, or let us see the next chapter.